Hi, my name is Tom Hull, and although I'm not Jewish or Palestinian, I am an American, and as such, I feel a responsibility to be well informed about actions that my country takes around the world. As such, in the a little over 2 years since October 7th, 2023, I have dedicated my life to doing a deep dive into Palestinian history and to learning about the cause of Palestinian freedom and self-determination and advocating for it. In that 2 years, one of the things I've done is read a whole lot of books, and one of my favorite books is this one, Perfect Victims by Mohammed el-Kurd. It's probably the first book I've ever read that I was actually impatient to finish so that I could start reading it again immediately. El-Kurd is a passionate and articulate author, but he's also analytically brilliant, and the book is a really important and deep and profound read. What I want to do here is read a selection from the book and just give you a sense of what it's about, so you go out and get it and read it for yourself. I did write a full post about the book on my Substack maybe a year ago, so if you want to learn a little bit more about it before you get the book, you can do that. Otherwise, I will just go ahead and read. Okay, so without further ado, Perfect Victims. To be Palestinian today is to feel like you are caught in a fever dream, trapped in someone else's hallucination. It is to be interrogated about the hidden insidiousness of our chants, while Israeli politicians boast about ethnically cleansing Gaza in newspapers and interviews. It is to be shouted over, silenced by people who claim to fear for their lives from the safety of apartments that have never been blistered by white phosphorus, that have endured nothing fiercer than a U.S. winter, while people in another corner of the planet dig for loved ones buried in the wreck of flattened buildings. Conversations about Palestine in the West are steered by abstractions, about the meaning of Zionism, about the threat level of words, about a logistically impossible, yet impossibly imminent, genocide of the Jewish people. Such details are not minor. In situating the Holocaust outside of history, in placing it not just in the past, but in an eternal future, Zionism today has created a status quo in which the possibility of a second Holocaust is given primacy over a Holocaust happening in the present. I am certain some readers will find these previous lines uncomfortable or even incendiary, but that is precisely the point. Language comparing Zionists to Nazis is scrutinized, even penalized, more than the government policies and military actions that beg for the analogy to be made. As long as this status quo persists, as long as Palestinians are subjected to colonial violence and erasure, we certainly can and should refuse indignity as a state of being, refuse to shrink ourselves and our aspirations, refuse to be silenced or shouted over, and refuse to assuage the hallucinations of our colonizers. The idea is to spit out the bait and spit at the accusation, to demystify and reject what it is they demand of us, perfect victimhood and perfect surrender. The effective and kinesic performance with which we respond to such aspersions is often more resounding and gripping than the usual memorized statistics and pleas. By spelling out the pernicious subtext of a particular argument, or to simply reveal it through ridicule, dismissal, or repudiation, one disarms said argument, loosening the psychological grip it has on the listener's minds. Otherwise, and as I have said before, cowering before a charge will often bring us closer to it, especially when our accusers hold their accusations to be self-evident. How many people have we seen scrambling to write apologies and clarifications over accusations of anti-Palestinian racism or Islamophobia? Do those who interrupt our path to freedom with red herrings ever wonder about our well-being? If, in fact, Hamas sent a 7-year-old girl wearing a Minnie Mouse sweatsuit right up to the Israeli military barrier, How does that absolve the sniper who pulled the trigger? Isn't "she was asking for it" a pervert's argument? And if indeed there were tunnels and bunkers under El Shifa Hospital, how does that justify shelling it and killing those sheltering inside the building? If anything, what they call human shields are families who, even in death, will refuse separation, families who refuse to die anywhere but in each other's embrace. So this is my first time making a video for social media, so you'll have to forgive the choppiness. But if you like it, let me know. Maybe I'll make more. And I'm also thinking of starting a podcast so I can interview a lot of people in the movement that I would really like to talk to and learn more from. So if that would interest you as well, let me know that too. Otherwise, keep up the fight and free Palestine.